So I'm doing some sort of character housekeeping, getting on to Booty Bay for the upcoming World Buffs, and then I've got to go log into my auction house tune, see how the auctions went today, those type of things, and so lot doesn't require a lot of intense attention, and so it's a chance for me to address something that's been nagging me for some time, and that is, I see all over the media, all across the range, this assertion that socialism is horrible and that Americans hate it, and I think that's just factually incorrect. The thing is that no one ever bothers to actually talk about socialism and what it is. Because if they did, they would learn that, oh no, Americans love socialism. Unless you're a weirdo, I guarantee you love socialism if you're an American. So what socialism is when you have the public, the state, the collective, whatever you want to call it, takes over the operation of what could be a private enterprise. It's you often talk about the workers or the state assuming the means of production, or the state controlling the means of production, and the thing is that what people often conflate with socialism is not socialism. Communism is not communism, right? Communism is the abolishment of all private enterprises. Socialism doesn't do that. Socialism doesn't say, oh no. Socialism says there are some elements in the economy that are so important that we can't trust the private sector to administer it. So, like for example, the U.S. Marines. The U.S. Marines are too important to national security and American identity to leave in the hands of contractors and private enterprises. So, from its inception, we said the Marines are going to be a socialist institution. That the state, the public, is going to control the administration and production of the Marines. We're not going to hire a company to be the Marines for the United States. It's too important to us, and we've done that all over the place. All right, fire departments. We've said no, fire protection is just too important. We could hire private companies to provide, and there are places like there are areas in the United States which cannot afford a full fire department, and so people have hired private fire departments for their own local neighborhoods. But the point is that in general, fire departments are socialist institutions. You have the state taking over the means of production, saying this element of this particular thing is too important for us to leave to private entities. And I mean, we could go down the list. NASA, the interstate highway system, on and on. The number of things that are socialized that are examples of socialism in America are, and if you're saying, oh no, none of those, I don't think any of those are good, then I just don't believe you. I don't believe that you as an American say, oh no, we should have the private police force, so that operating the police forces of the United States as socialized institutions is wrong, and we shouldn't do that. I mean, on and on. The FAA, oh man, just the judicial system. socialism is just rife in the United States. Now, there are some institutions that initially were socialized and have moved in a privatization direction. NASA being an example, right? Initially, we said no, space exploration is too important. It needs to be a socialism thing, and so the state, the federal government, controlled and operated all space exploration. But then eventually private interests became strong enough and financially invested enough to where they can now participate in that alongside the socialist national NASA institution. Same thing with the post office, right? Like Ben Franklin was the first postmaster general, and he made the argument that, oh no, postal delivery is too important to leave to the private sector. That's got to be a. They didn't even call it socialism back then. It was, they said we're going to, it's going to be, it's a public good. It's too important to turn over to private interests. And then, after a couple of centuries as a socialist institution with no competitors really, you had the rise of UPS and FedEx and other private carriers, so that now that has shifted away from being a monopoly of a socialist institution to much more, with many more private interests in there. So anyway, so the point is, I guarantee you, as an American, you look around your community, there is some socialist activity that you're like, oh no, that's great. I think it's great that we have Medicare taking care of old people, or Social Security paying retirees, or like I said, fire department, police department, the U.S. military, NASA, the interstate highway system, all are socialism in action in America that Americans love.